First bit of advice that I have is you're not going to sell it.
The truth is, your first script probably nobody should ever see.
I've never personally seen it. And I think that that's a fantastic dream scenario.
The percentages are so small of people that happens to. There are extremely talented writers out there that probably deserve that to happen.
A lot of new screenwriters think that it's going to be easy, and it's not. And they think that they're going to write one script and it's going to sell. And that's not the way it works. It's like you're going to basically you have to love writing because you're going to be doing a lot of it.
You are going to be working on this story for weeks or months to get a draft. And then you're going to be told, unless you are William Shakespeare, you're going to be told that there's a lot of problems and you're going to have to do another draft.
I was teaching class yesterday and I told the writers, if you're pitching a script that is your first script, don't ever say, this is my first script.
Every writer needs to have a couple of scripts that they can show as this is an example of what I can do. I know my craft, I know the business of this art form, I can marshal people's emotions, I can take a character on a journey.
It's funny, at my class, the class which meets tonight, in the first class I always brag about all of the scripts that got written in the class that became movies. Now most of the people who succeed don't sell the scripts that they write in the class, much less have them made into movies. They use them as showcases. They win representation, they win development deals and rewrite assignments and other kinds of rewards.
And even then, once you've sold a script, people ask me things like, so how did you break in? And my answer is, which time? Because it's like every time you sell a script, you do the rewrites on that script and then you're unemployed, which means you have to find another job.
I believe that those stories really stem from writers who actually have a career in motion, and they have contacts they can reach out to. And it's not that they sit and actually write a screenplay over 48 hours, it's that they have an idea and they already have a team of people who trust them because they've delivered so many quality scripts in the past.
And it was the fact that I had done that and delivered to them what they needed and something that showed I actually cared about the material and that I had some intelligence and I had some style. It was that made them come to me and say, we want you to write a movie called Shark Storm. And for me to be in a position to say, no, why would I want to write a movie called Shark Storm? Haven't we had enough dumb shark movies? And they went away and said, all right, we'll find somebody else to do it. And then a month later they came back to me and they said, what we really want you to do is write a movie called Sharknado.
People ask, how do you sell a screenplay? And the first part of that is be brilliant. Write a brilliant screenplay. Get your craft to the point where it's so good, people can't deny it.
A good script honestly kind of sells itself. And that's the biggest problem, is that people don't have the script that sells itself. A script will open doors for you. You don't have to open the door. And that ends up being the biggest problem. People think there's some trick to it, but there's not a trick to it. The trick to it is to have the script that when people read it, they say, I want to spend money to make this movie.
And I had to slog through this thing to figure out what they were trying to say. And I gave up after a couple of pages because they'd abused me, basically. They'd stolen my time, they'd wasted my time on something that wasn't a professional product, that could never be produced in its current state.
Generally speaking, we find that people have more success trying to work with producers, independent producers, and teaming up with people in that way, as opposed to trying to get an agent or a manager right out of the gate.
Almost all the writers I work with that are super successful are people who can be told they suck repeatedly and simply go, you're not right, and I'm going to work again.
One person liked it. The other person was like, I like this character and I like this character, and one person just eviscerated it. And I, of course, spent, like 5 days obsessing over that one piece of coverage going, this son of a bitch doesn't get it, he's got no sense of humor, he's an idiot, what would he know? And, I went through that whole entire thing.
I gave it to this person because he's a struggling writer. And he said to me, man, I just don't know, what to do. I pitch it and they don't get me and whatever. And so I gave it to him and I showed him 7 versions is what it took to get to this point. So he left, I think. But I just gave it to him. I said, man, it takes you a while. You can't quit.
In the entertainment field, there's a lot of rejection. And the only way out of it is to take a deep breath and realize that the person you're talking to is just another human being
Another thing is to make relationships. It is amazing how many people that you meet 1 year pay off 5 years later.
What I try to rely on is people that actually want to help me. So if they read a script of mine and it's the worst thing they've ever read, then it's not a fit for them to try and help me and take it to anyone.
They sold it for $600 grand. Very easy. So the moral of that story is you don't have to live here, you live anywhere.
That's this mysterious thing to producers and directors and actors, and they don't know where that comes from, and they need writers who can do that. And so you've got to be able to show, I'm one of those people who can do that.
There's an all's well that ends well story for you.